Did he who made the lamb make thee? William Blake, The Tiger. The scalpel was adamantium. The hydraulic arm it was mounted on cost $7 million. There were only 4 in existence. It could bend titanium like paper. Even so, it whined dangerously as the blade bit through the interventricular septum. When the heart was red, they extracted it with ease. But that was during the day. Now, it was night. The night was his time. Eventually, the heart lay in 2 pieces, green and lifeless as sliced supermarket cabbage. The scientists studied it carefully. They made measurements, took notes. Then they wheeled it back to join the rest of him. And somewhere along the north corridor, just past the water cooler, before the hamster run, the sundered heart began to beat.
So, what's the science here? Any ideas?
Dr. Clive asks the other shadow-based scientists. He throws his hands up, showing off the Hulk's severed beating heart in the tray before him, as well as the numerous other body parts floating in their separate pressurized storage capsules. Inside one of the capsules, the Hulk's head floats upside down. Somehow, he's wide awake. He lets out an indistinguishable grunt, which garners the doctor's attention.
Not you, big guy,
he snaps.
I mean, look at you, trying to talk with no air in your lungs. No lungs! Science isn't your specialty, is it?
The Hulk, who still has control over his other body parts, responds by using his left hand to flip off the doctor.
Charming,
the doctor sighs before walking over to the Hulk's severed heart to inspect it further. To his surprise, once he holds the severed pieces of the heart close enough, they begin to stretch and bind together on their own. Another one of the lead scientists, Dr. Charlene McGowan, tells Dr. Clive that they need to run more tests before physically interacting with the Hulk's radiated organs.
This is a test. I'm in the moment, Charlene. Isn't that interesting? The heart's good as new. Dead meat on the table. Alive again when it's near him. And it heals. Regenerates. I have questions. Do you have questions, Charlene?
Why not full regeneration? Dr. McGowan asks.
Exactly. A little baby body on a big Hulk head. Or a new Hulk sprouting from every organ. Hulk seeds. Why this and not that?
Psionic link, maybe?
Nope. 0 psi activity. Plus, he had his hypothalamus destroyed. And he came back from that. That's the key to all of it. Now, does he come back? What's the science? What are the rules? We have to know the rules. Otherwise, how can we break them?
Elsewhere, on the Alpha Flight Space Station, Captain Marvel explains to the rest of those in attendance, there are rules to this. Basic norms and standards. Or, there are meant to be. The Avengers, at great cost, both to themselves and to the civilian population, captured the Hulk in Iowa, following which they handed Banner, in an inert state resembling death, to the proper government authorities. But where did the Hulk go from there? She doesn't know. Thaddeus Ross denies all knowledge. General 14, the man who requested the mission, cannot be found. Requests for information are misfiled. Washington contacts are fired or reassigned without rhyme or reason. Banner has vanished into a sea of deliberate obfuscation. So, did the U.S. government lose the Hulk or kidnap him? Carol's plan is to have Jackie McGee quote her as an anonymous source. Perhaps, if a news article were to make some traction in the public eye, put the pressure on where it counts, it could make Banner's captors antsy. It might get them to make a mistake. From there, they just need to continue to monitor for Bruce's gamma signature until they find him. Walter, for one, objects. He tells Carol and Jackie that they still don't really know what Bruce is capable of when he's cornered or wounded. And if this horror has taught Walter anything, it's that gamma mutation can never be predicted. Well, you're the expert, Carol tells him. Your leave of absence is over, Walter. You're back on active duty as of now. You want me back with Alpha Flight? Walter asks, bewildered. Hulk drained me of all my gamma energy, Colonel. I'm not Sasquatch anymore. I might never be again. But you're a noted gamma researcher with combat training and some insight into Bruce Banner's mind. I don't need Sasquatch, Walter. I need you. And this isn't Alpha. I'll call a press conference later, Ms. McGee. But since you're here, you can have the exclusive. My remit is to protect the Earth. And in light of these awful rumors about the US losing one of the biggest threats to it, I'm creating a new task force headed by Dr. Lankowski to locate said threat. And the name is Gamma Flight. Later, Dr. Clive is on the phone within his office while Dr. McGowan is scanning a number of the Hulk's organs floating in their individual pods. They're calling it Gamma Flight, Dr. Clive huffs into the phone. Well, no, General. I don't think that's funny. It's the last thing we need. Do we still have leverage on Lankowski? Could we force Danvers to back off? Or overplaying our hand? General, come on. No,
I'm not raising my voice to you, sir. I was just... No. I don't want to go back to prison. Yes, I'll proceed as ordered. Thank you, General. Dr. Clive hangs up the phone and lets out a deep sigh before turning to Dr. McGowan. Danvers gave a press conference yesterday morning. She's putting a spotlight on us, and 14's response is to go dark, cut our ties, use the black funding streams, relocate.
Seriously? Dr. McGowan gasps. In the middle of everything. It'll take days to...
I know, okay? It's not what anyone wants to hear at the end of a long night's work. You go get the first ready for transport to Site B. I'll start prepping the Red Dog. Just as soon as I've finished with the jigsaw puzzle here. As Dr. McGowan exits the room, Dr. Clive turns back to the Hulk. The giant is smiling at him. You think that's funny, the doctor barks, that your superhero buddies want to make life difficult? Difficult for you, my friend. Everything we've done to you here. That was just the start.
The giant is still smiling. The doctor hisses back.
What happens now is we ship these pieces of you to our other sites. Study them cell by cell. Cut that smile off you. Slice it down to the bone. Maybe we'll pop one of your eyes, huh? Like a water balloon. Rip out the other. See what grows back.
The giant begins to laugh.
Needles in your tongue, and we're going to we're experimenting on you, you moron. What's wrong with you? What's so funny? We're going to turn you into our weapon. Learn all your secrets. How your heart beats. How your fingers move. All of it. We're going to find out exactly what you can do.
In one of the jars is the Hulk's right hand. He can still control it. Before, he used his left hand to flip off Dr. Clive. It was entertaining enough, and it passed the time. Now, the middle finger and the thumb of his right hand is preparing to snap. And the giant chuckles. And the doctor is changing his tone.
Oh, God,
he mutters as he realizes.
You let us do this. You wanted us to test you. Because if we know what you can do, so do you.
At that moment, the Hulk snaps. Even in such a small task, the Hulk is able to generate enough force to shatter the thick glass containers housing his separate organs. Shards of the translucent knives fly into the air, causing Dr. Clive to run for cover. The Hulk's entrails slither, splat, and spread on the floor. The doctor does what he can to avoid each piece by choosing his steps carefully. But it doesn't matter. The pieces not only begin to form together, but they begin to form around him, suffocating him. The doctor pleads for mercy. He blames others for his wrongdoings. He reaches his hand out as far as he can in a desperate attempt to acquire aid. It doesn't matter. He may have been sorry, but he wasn't sorry enough. Dr. Clive wanted science. He wanted a set of rules from the Hulk. That was a big mistake. Science is the other guy. And when you hurt him, Hulk takes it personal. The Hulk successfully burrows out of the shadow base. When Dr. McGowan returns to Dr. Clive's office, both him and the Hulk are nowhere to be found. Within the Alpha Flight space station, Walter Lankowski is also having a hard time pinpointing the Hulk's location. Now, that might mean the Hulk has gone underground, or he's in a shielded facility. But this is a needle in a haystack here. Last time, they got lucky. They checked Minnesota, checked neighboring states for the Hulk, and their banner was in Iowa. And that took what? A day? Now, they have no starting point. The Hulk could be in New York, New Mexico, California, anywhere. Walter scratches his chin. Looks like this might take a while. Unless we can think of another way to find him. I'm sorry. We? Asks Jackie. Sure, I could use your help. I mean, you've been chasing the Hulk across the country for months now? Sure, but not as a whatever this Gamma flight is. What are you right now? A superhero? A secret agent? I'm a reporter. I can't be the story. So be an embedded reporter, Walter reasons. Look, this is a way to get the story, Jackie. I know you've still got questions for him. And I know he hasn't given you the answers, and he won't until we find him. He'd been underground, buried in a mountain in the north of New Mexico, which meant he was almost home. Oddly, they'd done him a favor. He'd have thanked them properly, but time wasn't his friend. The sun was rising. The day was Banner's time. And Banner had his own problems. When he emerged, he felt queasy, infected. There was a terrible certainty in his gut that a long-held line had been crossed. The Hulk had taken a life. For a moment, he thought he heard his father's voice, laughing from everywhere at once.